welcome to day 2 of our study of the books of Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Songs of Solomon. We're going to continue taking a look at the book of Proverbs. The constant theme is always the contrast between the wise man and the foolish man, the righteous and the unrighteous, those who follow God and those who do not. Other than that, you would see that the book of Proverbs actually just gives you like random sayings, because the book of Proverbs gives you practical wisdom, practical insights. These are life hacks, these are tips that if you absorb this, it's like you can go through life in a better way. Like, you know which way to avoid, you know which way to take, you know how to go through things. Should you speed up in this area of your life? Should you slow down a little bit? The book of Proverbs is like that. And one question that I have, that I want to ask you is, think about this. How did Solomon come up with these things? How did Solomon get this kind of wisdom? Oh, you might think, because we went through this in the past, he prayed for wisdom, right? He asked for wisdom from God, and then God gave him wisdom. That's probably where he got it, right? And because of this, because of the books attributed to him, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Songs of Solomon, people say that Solomon is the wisest man in the Bible, or the wisest man in the Old Testament. And I don't know about you, but personally, as someone who reads the Bible, as someone who reads the Old Testament, I don't agree with that. Yes, Solomon was given wisdom by God, and probably the wisdom God has given him is the greatest of all the gifts that God has given to others. But I wouldn't call Solomon the wisest of all in the Old Testament. Even in the Old Testament. Why? Because you know what happened? You know why? He turned his back on God. Here in his own Proverbs, he's saying, the righteous is like this. The righteous is wise, the unrighteous is not. Those who follow God is wise. Those who turn back from him is foolish. Applying his own proverb to his own life, he doesn't seem very wise at all. But still, he has these things. How did he get this? Now that leads us to the principle that I want to share with you today. Our principle is this. Real wisdom comes from spending time observing everything God created. I will repeat. Real wisdom comes from spending time observing everything God created. Now you will see this in Proverbs, but it will become very apparent once we go to Ecclesiastes. Solomon is exposed to his relationship with his father, with his own father, and he observes, he gets wisdom from that. And then he also observes everything that God has created, the whole kingdom, the whole world, the nature around him. And then spending time observing them, it gives him wisdom. Why? Because he's able to see the pattern in life. He's able to see the pattern in the world, the way things work. That's how scientists, that's how philosophers, that's how the scholars get their knowledge and wisdom. They observe the world and they see the pattern. They extract that pattern. You know, it's like, so wisdom is like knowing the algorithm behind the operation of life in the universe. You know, you look at how things work, you know, there seems like a pattern. And if you can discover that algorithm, that pattern that makes everything work, then that is wisdom. Acquiring that knowledge is wisdom. But the thing about this is, you are looking for a pattern because there is a creator. That's another thing that I'd like to point out about the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs actually leads to a strong defense for the belief in God. If there is no God who created everything, there is no point in searching for wisdom. Why would you look for a pattern if everything was just randomly created? If I would, for example, get a bunch of Lego, I throw it away on the floor, just like that. And then, here comes another person, a visitor probably, and then looks at the Lego scattered across the floor and tries to look for a pattern. I would laugh at that person. Man, why are you looking for a pattern? I just scattered that randomly. There is no pattern. But the fact that you look for a pattern, it affirms the truth that there is a creator. There is a programmer who created the code. There is an artist who made patterns of lines and colors. If you want to know that pattern, if you want to know how things work, if you want to get wisdom, what we need to do is to sit down, spend time observing everything that God created. Or, better yet, spend time with the Lord and let Him reveal His wisdom to you.